everybody, and welcome back to the stream. It's Saturday. Woo! And you know what that means? It's time for the weekend kickoff, our awesome strength and stamina focused body weight class. And look at that. It's beautiful, sunny. Well, there's some clouds, but even the clouds are beautiful. I feel like my energy is always better in the Saturday class just because it's still light out. Like, yeah, having our nighttime classes be at true nighttime definitely does a number on me. It's weird. And there's still great classes, and I'm always pumped by the end of them, but I definitely more frequently go into them at the beginning feeling like, oh my God, everything's falling apart in the world. I'm not feeling that today. Today I'm feeling good. Today I'm feeling that sunshine, which is a good thing to feel. Hi, everybody. You made it to Saturday. And if that was an easy thing this week, I'm really happy to hear that. And if that was a hard thing this week, I'm really proud of you for making it here. And if it was a combination of both, yeah, I feel you, fam, because the world is a complex place. And it rarely deals in binaries, no matter how many people want to pretend that it does. Hey, oh man, but we're here. It's still beautifully, cold, and there's snow on the ground, but not a ton. It's very crunchy at this point. It is a little icy, which is, I think, the issue with how winter's going right now. And this happened last year too, where like usually in Colorado it'll snow and we'll get covered, but then it will warm up just enough for it all to melt, so you don't get these super icy patches. But that is definitely not what has happened so far this winter. And on the one hand, I love all this cold weather. It's making me feel nice and snuggly. Certainly makes the idea of staying indoors all the time a lot easier. But on the other hand, it definitely means that there are a lot of icy patches on the sidewalks where they haven't been cleared very well, and that is less fun. But we'll make it through. We will make it through. We made it to Saturday. We can make it anywhere. Oh my goodness. And today I am going to, at the end of stream, attempt something new. I'm going to attempt to raid another channel. Feeling like a true Twitch streamer. My dear friend Eileen is doing another stream for Extra Life, and she did one some months ago around when her birthday was, and started and hosted this class when it came time for this class, which was really wonderful and sweet of her. And so I want to return the favor. So I am going to attempt it. I think it should work. I know the command. I think it should work in Streamlabs. But if it doesn't, I will just grab the link to her channel and drop it in the chat and send people there. Extra Life is an awesome charity, really worthy cause, and the stream itself should be super fun. I actually got to go on it last year, back when we could be in person with people. And Eileen is an amazing cosplayer and mini painter, and she's a video game engineer. So, she's going to be playing a lot of games and wearing a lot of fun costumes, talking about mini painting, just like, it's going to be a lovely time. And I know I'm going to have that stream on all day. So yeah, we're gonna try and raid her. Fingers crossed that it works correctly. But either way, even if it doesn't work officially, you should definitely head over to her channel and check it out, and maybe throw a little money towards Extra Life. But before we get there, because she hasn't even started yet, and we certainly haven't started yet. Before we get to raiding another channel, we do have to get through class. I know. This is what you're here for. Just remember that. This is what you're here for. You're here for exercise. You're here for community. In case you missed it yesterday, we hit 50 followers on the channel, which is super exciting to me. It means that there's only one metric left that I need to hit to be eligible for Twitch affiliate, which would be super cool. It would open up the opportunity for people to like officially subscribe to the channel, which I know people have been asking me about, and it would unlock some emote slots so we could start playing around with emotes and all this fun stuff. So I'm really excited. When I started doing this back in March, I didn't really have a plan for it beyond, oh, this is a thing that I'd been thinking of, and suddenly I'm not teaching in person anymore, so we might as well do this. And yeah, it's been such a ride since then, but I am really excited to be here. Really excited to be here. Excited to be here with all of you, just chilling, chatting, and taking care of ourselves, which is important, super important. Hey, did you know there's still a pandemic on? Wash your face and wear a hands. Wait, no. Wash your hands and wear a mask on your face if you have to leave the house. Got there. Nailed it. First try. All right. Let's get going, my friends, because Eileen starts at 9:30, I think, and so I don't want us to have to wait too long to get to head over there. But I also want us to have an awesome class, and ooh, I'm really pleased with this class plan. I've been admiring myself for my my organization this week on basically every stream. So fingers crossed that I continue this forward to next week because I really like this. It's made my life a lot easier, and it would be nice if I could continue that process. So we'll see. Yeah, hope for me. But for now, pre-class checklist. All right, so we've got our water vessel, water bottle, water vessel, whatever you are using to hold water, and then drink it. Fitness friend says drink your water. You got your comfy clothes on, whatever that means to you. Our mat or mat-sized space on the floor, and if you are using a fitness wearable, we can turn them on now to a high-intensity interval training setting. If you're not using a fitness wearable, don't worry about it. You know, they can be really useful for some people. I've found mine pretty useful, but honestly, I've found it more useful once I turned off all the notifications, which is not how a lot of people use them. You know, for a lot of people, the notifications are really helpful and just provide those ongoing reminders. For me, the Apple Watch notifications got a little... They ramped my anxiety in some unhelpful ways. You know, when your watch is like, oh, you know, usually your move ring is farther along by now on this day. And I'm like, well, yeah, but, you know, life happens. So I turned off all the notifications and I basically just use it for movement tracking. And it's perfect that way for me. Like, if I want to check on metrics, I have all of that data at my disposal. And if I don't, then I don't have to. So, yeah. Fitness wearables are a tool. They're not a required tool, and they don't work effectively for everybody, you know? And nothing wrong with testing them out. I've certainly tried a couple of other models. This is the Apple Watch is the only thing that I've ever worn really consistently as a watch, which is fun for me. But yeah, don't ever feel pressured to use any of this technology because it's not actually necessary. It can be a helpful tool and it's awesome that it exists, but it's not necessary for everybody. Hello, my dear. Good morning. Good to see you. We're just finishing off the pre-class checklist, which I know you know by heart by now. Anybody who's been coming to class for long enough knows that thing by heart, and knows that now that we're done with it, it's time to warm up. Yeah. All right. Ready? We're here. We've reached the weekend. A lot's going on, but we're just going to get on the mat and we're going to have a grand old time. And then we're going to go raid a channel doing an awesome charity stream. I think that sounds like a good Saturday morning. All right, my loves. I turned that on. It's still connected to this. Right? Because I had that happen yesterday. Okay, good. Yeah, I had that happen yesterday where I got on the mat and I was like, all right, it's time to go. And then the horn just played like a tiny little tinny thing in my ear. And I was like, oh, that's right. Didn't connect the phone to the speaker. And that would be kind of useful. All right, so everybody, on your backs, on your mats, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. And as soon as you hear that horn, you know the one. We will get started with our hip rocks and bridges. That sounded a little soft. I don't have a good sense of how loud to make that, that horn so that it gets picked up over the mic on my laptop. And that's definitely something on my list, getting a better audio setup, because I do know that when I move over here, I get quieter because, you know, I'm just using the onboard mic on my laptop, and that's not a great microphone. So, yeah, I am hoping that in 2021 I can upgrade that audio setting a little bit so that it is easier for y'all to hear me when I'm over here. I'll probably do some sort of like a boom mic setup, because lavs don't really work for exercise class, because I'd be rolling over the pack over and over again, and that just sounds really unpleasant. So we'll see. 2021 is filled with possibilities, and we are going to explore them, and some of them are going to work out and some of them aren't, but no matter what, we are going to have a grand old time moving through and figuring out where we want to go next with all of this, and that's a good thing. I'm thinking of doing some sort of end of year, just like sitting and chilling with y'all stream, just to sit and talk for a little bit. I don't know. I so love the community aspects of streaming like this on Twitch. It's one of my favorite things, and I've been, you know, watching a lot more streams recently because I'm, you know, partially because I'm trying to pay attention to what other people do and take whatever notes I can, partially because, you know, I can't see people in real life, and so being able to hang out with people on stream is a nice alternative. And it is it can be a really wonderful vehicle for community and for spending time with people. And that's huge. And when it's done well, it's such a supportive place. You know, I obviously back in November talked a lot about the Desert Bus stream, Desert Bus for Hope. And, you know, they have 3,000 to 5,000 active viewers at a time at any given time during the week. Like a not insubstantial number of people, but they have an incredible mod crew that does just stunning work. So the chat is always a really wonderful, chill, supportive place to be. And because of that, because you know going in that it's going to be a really wonderful and safe space, you can just sort of hang out there and talk with your friends and not worry about, you know, trolls and griefing and all this, you know, dickish behavior. So I want to do more. I want to do more on Twitch. And I've talked a lot about other stream ideas I have, and I definitely am planning to implement at least some of them, probably starting in January. But yeah, also just kind of like the idea of just hanging on stream with y'all, chilling, talking, maybe doing just doing some sort of a year-end roundup, because it's been a hell of a year and so much has happened and has been thrown our way that, it's easy to forget a lot of the things that have happened, which is kind of wild. If you've watched the talking to my past self about quarantine videos that Julie Nolk, who's a comedian, has been doing on YouTube, I'll watch those videos, and she's done one every 3 months, I'd say, over the last year, and legitimately, I'll watch those videos and go, oh my God, I totally forgot that had happened. Like, the most recent one, not the most recent one, because she actually just released one a couple days ago, but the one back in October, she referenced the Australia wildfires from January, which I had completely forgotten about and forgotten how bad they were. And then she referenced the huge explosion in Beirut, which I had also totally forgotten about, which had happened in August. So 2 months prior. And I was just like, oh my God, so much is happening. So much is happening right now that it's just impossible to keep track of everything. And I don't think I've ever really had that feeling before in a given year. Things happen and you don't always remember them, and somebody refreshes your memory and you go, oh yeah, but I feel like there's just so much that has happened that it is really easy for me to lose the thread of all of these timelines. Oh my goodness. Oh. So yeah, maybe we'll do a year-end stream where we just sit down with some tea and we talk about the year, we talk about, goals that we may have for 2021, we talk about exercise and how that's feeling for us, and just relax and have a good time. We don't always have to be on stream with me, leading you through intense classes. We can just hang out. Oh my goodness, friends, we are almost done with our leg sequence. Wow. I haven't even been paying attention. Oh my goodness, but it's always good to wake up those legs because it's Saturday, so you probably have a fairly solid idea of at least one of the things that we are going to be doing. And you'd be right. Hey. But for now, we'll finish out with our beach pose. Nice and chillin'. I can't tell if that's like a storm cloud or not. It was interesting yesterday. Yesterday it was potentially going to snow. It didn't end up snowing down here at least, but there were some serious storm clouds coming over the mountains. So I would not be surprised if the mountains got some snow, because they were pretty ominous looking. There were some ominous looking clouds heading our way. And I'm definitely still in the I love snow phase of winter, which thankfully for me usually lasts for a while. Like, I don't usually get tired of the snow until April or May. And for anyone going, it doesn't snow in April or May. Oh yes it does. It absolutely does here. But for most of the winter, I am 100% down with this experience, and particularly in Colorado, which is a fairly dry state, very much prone to drought, obviously prone to wildfires, as we saw this summer. It is always really wonderful to get precipitation of any kind and just have that wonderful snow, and know that that's going into our water tables and our reservoirs, and just going to be there to help us out in the coming season. You know, a couple of winters ago, we had such an active winter, so much snow and then so much rain, lasting through like July, which was really wonderful because then we didn't really, that year, we really didn't have a fire season, which was very nice, believe you me. And then this year felt like the state was like, oh, time to make up for that. But yeah, I have lived in enough places under drought conditions that I definitely always appreciate precipitation. You know, it's just too important to ever get down on, because man, drought conditions are no good. I was living in North Carolina when there was fear of like running out of water supplies, like backup supplies, because of the drought conditions. And I remember not Cirque du Soleil, Cirque Éloise came through, which is, it was a similar sort of acrobatics focused circus company, a little more experimental, I think, than what I've seen of Cirque du Soleil. But they came through with this show. I think the title of the show literally was Rain. And at the end of the show, they had water that would fall from the ceiling onto the stage, you know, simulating rain. And they literally had to issue an advisory that they had brought all of the necessary water with them from out of state, so that people knew that they were not just turning on the faucets in our drought-ridden state to do this show. And I was like, well, I'm really glad that you at least gave the advisory. That's super important. Still not great timing for your show to come through the state, but then again, when you booked, I'm sure that nobody knew it was going to be quite that bad. So, but it was just one of those things where it was like perfectly terrible timing, you know? Where you're like, wow, great. In the middle of these really horrible drought conditions, this company's just dumping water from the ceiling as part of their show. Yeah, I think that no matter, the more I think about it right now, honestly, the more I err on the side of, no matter how you slice it, they probably should have removed that component of the show from their performances in North Carolina. Just because it's like, well, you know, the water that you're bringing in could do a lot more good than just being used as stage dressing. And honestly, having seen the show, like, it was an impactful moment, but I don't think it would have been that diminished by not having that. So, and you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if anyone on the production team had taken that step back and gone, maybe we should do this a different way, I feel like that could have felt a little more respectful to what was going on in the state at the time. So our weekly reminder, friends, to make sure to try to take a step back every once in a while and check in on what you may be missing and see what you can do to fix it up. Oh my goodness, look at us go. We are on our second to last exercise, and Again, checking in. I know I check in on the kick through form a lot, and it's because it's complex. And so when you're kicked across, that standing leg, 90-degree angle, knee pointing up towards the ceiling, not letting the butt come down towards the floor, not letting the knee cave forward, okay? And trying to keep your shoulder as close to your wrist as possible. So you don't want to be too pushed back. And then we switch to the other side, making sure that your shoulder is engaged the whole time, particularly when you're switching sides, okay? But that's the last time you have to think about that today. Because now we are, something on my yoga mat, get off. What are you? Fuzz from my hoodie. We finish out with everybody's favorite burpees. You know, I definitely was not crazy about burpees when I started doing this style of class, but I have come around on them in a lot of ways. I think partially because I have just, in general, improved my strength and stamina, so they're easier. And because of that, now they're a little more fun to dig into, you know? But if you're not there yet, I understand. Again, this is a process that we will be moving through for a while, and that's okay. This year has been a lot. Dang it, let's grab some water and just drink a toast. I know you're not supposed to do that with water, but screw that, you know, not everybody drinks alcohol. So here's to making it through this year. A lot of stuff has been thrown at us, and we're still here, and that is definitely a good thing. Don't worry, Amanda. You will be friends with them someday. I promise. All right. Everybody warmed up, ready for our next step. If you've been in class for the last few weeks, I bet you know what I'm about to say. Toe squats. Yee, yee, yee. Oh, good. I am glad you're making friends with the kick-throughs, because I know that those were a little tricky for you initially. All right, so we're going to do our toe squats. We're going to do 10 minutes, just as many as you can do. I'm not giving you a target number, so I'm going to have the timer going, and you'll stop when we hit 10 minutes. All of our form bits, standing, feet hip width apart, keeping our backs straight up and down as possible. Start to squat. I can't go any further, so I let my heels come up. Come all the way down here, and then all the way back up, making sure to engage your core as a stabilizing muscle group. Super important. Alrighty, so you can take breaks, but you have to make sure that you are doing the same number of reps in each set. So if you do 25 and then take a break, you're now doing 25 each time. If you do 50 and then take a break, you're now doing 50 each time. Alrighty? Everybody on your mats. And we're just gonna have this timer going. There'll be one horn midway through to tell you when we're midway through. But for now, here we are. You know, honestly, I can tell we're doing a lot of leg work these last few weeks, because this is already feeling easier even than it did before for me. And y'all know how much I love this exercise. It's not like it's been terribly difficult, but I can feel the difference. English, I speak it sort of. Oh my goodness. So yes, early in the morning, it's hard to tell sometimes working out early in the morning is better because we're not overthinking things. Sometimes it's worse because our brain is not fully engaged in the activity. So I want you to make sure that you are checking in on that form, especially as you're kicking off, making sure you're starting from a good place, okay? So here I am, I'm settled, my feet are hip width apart. What's the first thing I do? Start to squat? No. First thing I do, engage those core muscles, okay? And that way, I'm now controlling all of the weight of my torso so that as I start to move down in the squat, my torso is not going to unexpectedly lean in some direction and throw off my balance, because we're coming all the way down to the balls of our feet. That's not a lot of real estate to balance on. And we're in sort of this weird folded position here. And if I'm not controlling my torso, and my torso decides that it wants to go somewhere, and then best case, I fall, have to reset. Worst case, I fall and hurt myself. So before you go anywhere, make sure that you've engaged your core. And then as we start going down, remember, we are not actively lifting and lowering, okay? I am not deliberately going, all right, let's lift the heels up at this point, and okay, let's shove them back down on the ground. I've seen that. I've seen students, sort of, okay, I'm gonna go. I lift up, and then I do the squat. And I've seen other students go, all right, I need to get the heels back down to the ground. And then I'll stand from here. Neither of those is correct. The heels are moving only as a consequence of the exercise, all right? They are lifting only because I can't go any lower if they don't, okay? So I'm not lifting them. I'm just getting here and going, well, if I want to keep going lower, I have to let them come off the floor. And the same thing as I stand up, I am standing and they just come back down to the floor because there's nowhere else for them to go. One of the things that'll help remind you of that is keeping that back as straight up and down as possible, all right? So particularly when you're standing up, if I'm here and I try to drive the heels down to the floor, that's gonna tip my back forward. And that's not what I want. I want the back, losing my balance there for a second. I want my back to stay straight up and down. And so to do that, I have to just lift from where I am, and the heels just have to be able to come down on their own time, okay? So think about all of these things. We don't always dig that deeply into the form. So every time that I do, I want you to really pay attention to what's happening. And I want you to think about, okay, is there some component of this that I've been doing incorrectly, that I had misunderstood earlier and hadn't thought to ask for clarification on? That happens a lot, okay? I want to be clear. Even if we were in person doing class, that still happens a lot. I can think of so many exercises that, I was a few months to a few years into before finally, getting the perfect note or asking the right question that helped me to understand that last facet of them, We've talked about communication before. Hey, there's our halfway horn. Yeah. We've talked about communication before and how I can be explaining something and have it be really clear in my mind what I'm saying and what I'm trying to get across. And you can be hearing me and have it be really clear in your mind what I'm saying and what I'm trying to get across. And they can still be two completely different things. And that's how communication works. We all have different ways of processing information. We all have communication patterns and styles that work better for us and for our brains. And what makes sense to me may not make sense to you. You know, a visual artist may give descriptions, based on visual factors. Somebody who doesn't think that way may give descriptions based on, oh, it's right where this thing used to be, based on memory. You know, there are just so many ways to describe things. And so that's why I talk a lot about form. And I talk a lot about form for exercises that I know I've already talked about it for, because there is someone out there who hasn't quite understood what I'm trying to convey. And this may be the time, this may be the right combination of words, or the right combination of explanation plus demonstration to get that across. Yeah? And so that's why I keep coming back to it. And that's why, too, it's so important that even if you've been exercising for decades, when you start a new class or start a new activity, I want you to always approach it as a beginner, okay? As somebody who has a lot to learn and is open to learning it. Because where we do ourselves a huge disservice is going into a situation and assuming that because we have X amount of experience, that we don't need to pay attention to most of what's being said, okay? And we all do this. I've absolutely done that. And, then I've discovered down the line, oh, I really wasn't doing that correctly, even though I felt so confident, so sure that I knew what was happening. And you lose time, and you lose the opportunity to grow, You may get there eventually, but it's going to take longer than it needs to. So always, if you're doing a new exercise, if you're doing a new class, make sure to come in with a curious mind, okay? And see what you can learn and what information you can get. And never, ever be afraid to ask questions. We make ourselves feel so ashamed for not knowing everything right off the bat. And it's like, oh my God, of course we don't, because we're not psychic. We can't read each other's minds and immediately understand everything. We have to talk. We have to express things verbally or visually or both. So don't ever be afraid to ask questions, okay? Throw them in the chat or shoot me a tweet on Twitter, and maybe I don't know the answer right away, but I can look it up for you. But don't be afraid to ask those questions, because again, I would rather you ask the question and get the information you need to be able to do the exercise safely and correctly than be over here feeling ashamed of not knowing what you don't know and just trying to muddle through and then ending up injuring yourself or not enjoying class and deciding not to take it anymore. That's not good for any of us. I want you here and I want you learning. So keep joining me, will you? All right, my loves. Woo! How many reps did you get to? I like that timer. It's a fun way to try and ramp up your speed on on toe squats. 140, nicely done. Nicely done, Amanda. Yeah. See? It's freaking awesome. And sometimes having that bounded time box is really helpful for us. you know? If you are at the place where you're like, okay, I understand the exercise, and now I want to go for a little more intensity, and maybe that means a little more speed. Having a time box can be super useful, because then you can figure out, all right, how many can I get in? Can I get in more next time than I did last time? And as you can see, you absolutely can. Oh, all right. Sorry, man, I'm just reading your thing about the Slavic squat. Why don't people just do that? I love it. And it's like, well, you know, and the same thing happens in these classes. Like, I'll demonstrate things, and, you know, I'll be able to hold this wide squat with my knees turned out. I have 30 years of dance training. I've got that flexibility, you know? If you're just starting to work out again for the first time since high school, don't hold yourself to that standard. And I, as a teacher, can't hold you to that standard either. Like, it is so important for teachers to understand that people are in different parts of their journey. And that is something that I think gets lost in the fitness world a lot. And it's something I always try to keep at the top of my head. It is important to me to never be like, well, why don't you just do this? When it's like, well, because I don't have 30 years of dance training. All right, my loves. Let's move on. So we're going to do a bunch of different timer structures today. I'm having fun. Having fun with the timer structures. So we're going to start with the perpetual motion 1 minute work intervals. We're just going to have 2 exercises and go back and forth between the 2. And first one is going to be the slow leg lower, because I'm feeling the desire for some good core strengthening. So we lie on our backs, legs straight up to the ceiling, and then we introduce a tilt in our pelvis so that our lower back is flat against the floor. Use your fingertips and just try and poke them up under your lower back to make sure that they can't get under there, okay? And you have to maintain your lower back against the floor the whole time. If it ever comes up, reset. And then we're just slowly lowering our legs and stopping every 15 degrees or so. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower. Hold for 2 seconds. If you've gotten all the way here and your back is still against the floor, you can reverse it. All right? And that's, it is a great way, A, to gauge where your core strength is, and B, to strengthen it. I love that exercise. That was a great find. Second exercise is going to be side-to-side planks. So starting from our plank position, shoulders directly over wrists. Let your heels drop to the side. Come up on one arm. Other arm straight up towards the ceiling. Hold here for a second. Let the judges see it. Then down through that front plank to the other side. And we're just going back and forth and back and forth. All right. So everybody on your mats. And we will get started. So as soon as you hear the horn, it will be time to start with our slow leg lowers. Now, one thing you can do for testing that your lower back is still against the ground, because this can be an uncomfortable arm position, especially if you do have shoulder things. It can be hard to get your arms in that position. So if you are struggling with that and you have a yoga strap, so basically a strap that's thick enough that you can pin it with your back, but thin enough that it's not going to warp the position, just lay on top of that, have that under your lower back, and just tug on it every once in a while and test and go, all right, well, I still can't move it, so I think that I still have my back pinned to the ground the way I'm supposed to. Woo! Man, that exercise is no joke. And I'm super serious. I know that we're doing side-to-side planks now, but super serious for that slow leg lower. Whenever you feel your lower back coming off the floor, that is the time to stop and reset, all right? Again, talking about form, how important it is. I don't want you to keep going with the exercise if you're not doing it correctly, okay? I would rather you reset and restart. Try to do it quickly, because we're doing a perpetual motion set, so we are trying to move the whole time, but don't just keep trying to muscle through. And here we are, back to the slow leg lower, so you can give that a try. One of the things I love about this exercise is that it's one of the few core exercises where you really can't compensate with any other muscle groups, all right? So many of the issues that people get with things like crunches or bicycles or ankle reaches, so many of the issues stem from when our cores aren't actually strong enough to be doing the work, to be generating the movement. We'll try to compensate with other areas and not even realize we're doing it. So, for exercises where people used to have you put your hands behind your head, and then people end up yanking their heads forwards in an attempt to get into the position. So I love the slow leg lower because you can't do any of that. You're just lying on the ground. You have to be engaging your abdominal muscles to make that exercise work, to keep that lower back flat. And it's great. But now we're doing side-to-side planks, which is another one of my favorites, as you know, because it's so good for shoulder strengthening, which is a huge thing that we do not do enough of, okay? So when you're getting into this plank and you're coming up onto one arm, don't let yourself sink down, okay? You can feel the difference. Your shoulder starts coming up towards your ear, and that is a sign that you are not stabilizing the shoulder and engaging the muscles to keep it stable. And that is how we end up with shoulder injuries, my friends. All right. Whew. Man, doing a minute of these puppies is also a heck of an experience. Remember to keep breathing, okay? That is one of the biggies. We like to forget to breathe a lot when we're doing slow movements or held movements. And let me tell you, your muscles are still in just as much need of all that oxygen as they would be if we were doing something a little more active. So please make sure that you are breathing this whole time. Do not let that stop. Woo! And you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the difference if you have been holding your breath and then you kick it back in and you're like, oh, wow, suddenly I have more energy because my muscles are getting the oxygen that they need to keep running the energy production systems that are giving me the fuel to then keep doing this class. Crazy, just a but it's necessary. And it's amazing how easily we forget it. So just check in. Check in on yourself and go, am I still breathing? Yes, good. Or no, all right, time to start breathing again. All right, last 2 runs. So here's your last time for the slow leg lower. And I want it to be just as good form-wise as it was the first time you did it. So make sure that you're double checking. Make sure that your lower back is pinned to the ground, that you are stopping your legs every 15 degrees and holding for 2 seconds before you continue down. Make sure that you're breathing so that your core is getting that oxygen. All right? And if your lower back does come off the ground, make sure you reset and start again. Nothing wrong with that. Believe me, you're still getting important work done, okay? Even if you're having to start and stop a lot. All right, and now our last time for our side-to-side planks. So again, checking in, making sure your shoulders are directly over your wrists. If you have wrist issues, you can do these from your fists. It will be a little harder, okay? But you can, and that will help keep your wrist in a straighter position, which is really helpful for people with wrist issues. You can also use a couple of dumbbells or some push-up handles. And they won't keep your wrist as straight, but certainly straighter than pushing it up against the floor, okay? So just keep that in mind as well. There are plenty of modifications that we can make for wrist health if you need them. And everybody needs them sometimes, even me. And I don't have any particular wrist stuff. All right, good job. Good job. Yeah, it is. Hello, my dear, good to see you. Good chat. Oh, yeah, good, Amanda. That is good. See, and that's why I'm up here demonstrating as well as talking, and trying to, do as much during class as possible so that you can look up and see what I'm doing at various points. Oh, all right. Now what are we going to do? Now we are going to do a Tabata. It's going to be our big one though. So it's going to be 45 seconds of work to 15 seconds of rest. And we're going to have 3 exercises. We're going to go through them 3 times. And yeah, all that fun. But you do get 15 seconds of rest. It's a whole 5 extra seconds from what you usually get in the Tabata timer. So enjoy those extra 5 seconds. They always throw me off. All right, so first thing we're going to do, and I'm suddenly realizing that these 2 exercises that I have back to back are going to be kind of intense, but also I believe in you. So our first thing is going to be wall sit, good old wall sit. So find a wall that is clear enough that you can flatten your back up against it, and you want to be going for, I know I'm getting real far away from the camera now, apologies. You want to be going for 90-degree angles, so from here to here and from here to here, okay? So I'm just 2 90-degree angles right now, and we'll chill there for 45 seconds and then fall over when we get to our rest. Second exercise is going to be tricep dips off of a chair. So let's get a chair of some kind, and I'm going to put my hands on the edge with my fingertips going off of the edge of the chair, okay? So I haven't got them turned around to the back. And just putting my feet out in front of me a little far, and then bringing myself down and up and down and up. Basically, I'm putting my feet far enough forward that when I come down, I'm not sitting on the floor, okay? And then third, hey, speak of the devil, ankle reaches. So just in case you didn't do enough core work in that last set, now we're gonna stick our legs back up, contract our core muscles to lift our shoulders and back off the floor, reach one arm to the outside of the opposite ankle, come back slightly, and up again. So I'm never like fully lying down again, but I am letting my shoulders come down a little bit and then re-engaging the core, up and up and up, okay? So wall sit, tricep dips, and ankle reaches. And we are doing 3 times through, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, which is super exciting. The knocking sound on this timer, and only this timer, comes through a little late on the speaker, and I hate that. So I'll try to indicate knock, knock, knock right there. So get prepped because we're going. All right. So I am sort of jamming myself up against the wall. You know, you can put pressure on your feet to sort of push back so that your entire back is against the wall. Just know that that's going to be real intense for your quads. This whole exercise is real intense for your quads. And I think nobody goes into this not knowing that, but just to keep that awareness. So check in, are you breathing? Because let me tell you, your quads need that oxygen. They need that help. So make sure you're still breathing. Oh, yeah. Oh, stand up and shake out. But yeah, breathing is important, and it's one that gets lost there quite frequently. All right, knock, knock, knock. Get ready, get set, and tricep dips. All right. So we want to keep our elbows rather, going straight behind us. So not fanning out away from the body. You want to keep them parallel to each other. So very similar to when I'm having you do push-ups and I'm telling you to keep your arms, your elbows right in by the body. I want you to think similarly when you're doing these tricep dips, okay? So make sure that your elbows are staying as parallel as possible. Oh man, this class, all right, knock, knock, knock. This class will get you kicked off nicely for the weekend. Oh man. And I do love a good cardio class with all that jumping around and getting your heart rate going, but I also have so much love for a strength and stamina bodyweight class where we're just like, all right, I want to feel strong and powerful today, and I'm going to do as much as I can through class to get that feeling. And I don't know about you, but it works real well for me. I get through this class and I'm just like, I feel like a superhero. And man, is that nice. That's a nice feeling. All right, back against the wall, second time through, starting with those wall sits. Now, one of the things, and I hadn't even really noticed this before today, but engaging your core, again, there are very few things where engaging your core is not a good idea, but engaging your core as almost a pushback against the force you're applying with your feet to push your back against the wall can help to smooth some of the intensity of sensation in the quads. There's no way around it. Your quads are gonna feel things. You may get to the end and be like, my legs are literally vibrating. Totally natural. Totally natural, not a bad sign, just a sign that you're working hard, all right? And maybe not breathing enough. All right, and now we head back over to our chair. Knock, knock, knock. So getting ready, getting steady, and going. Oh yeah, feeling that good, strong work in our arms, particularly our triceps, obviously, since this is a triceps exercise. We did a couple of new exercises last night in functional home fitness, and that was super fun. I've actually tried a few new things this week, which has been exciting because, you know, I love all my old standbys, absolutely, but it is also really fun to get out there and find new things to play around with. So I'm definitely, I think probably the first Sunday of 2021, I'm gonna do a bonus stream where we can, you know, go down the rabbit hole together and find some new exercises, test them out, see how they feel, and maybe come out of it with a list of new things to add to class to have some fun. So keep an eye out for notification around that, because I'm definitely going to want to solicit from you. You know, I'm sure y'all have done so many different activities and gotten different warm-up exercises, different exercises that work, you know, parts of the body, and I want to bring all of that into class. I don't want to just be focusing on the traditional, you know, exercises that we do in a class like this. You know, I've already brought some stuff over from my own dance background into this class, and I want to do more of that. So if you have exercises that you do in rugby, in fencing, in, you know, anything else, like, let me know, and we can add something new to the roster and have a little fun with that. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, but I'm thinking first Sunday of January, and I may do it on a monthly basis or maybe an every other month basis. I'm not quite sure yet, but I definitely want to do those check-ins every once in a while on a semi-regular basis at any rate, so that we can refresh and we can bring new things in, get to learn new stuff, and have fun with that, and see, you know, if we find new exercises that we really enjoy. Oh man, woo! Wall sits, man, and I consider myself as having pretty strong quads at this point, but wall sits, they are intense. They are intense. So if you are also feeling that intensity, don't worry, so am I. Holy crow. But now we're doing our last set of our tricep dips. So again, check in on those elbows. Just make sure that they are still as parallel as possible, and that you're breathing. Let's remember the phrase that Steve brought to us: exhale on the effort. So as you push up, exhale, inhale as you come down, and that will help to energize you through the exercise, okay? All right, last but not least, oh, there was our knock sound, so let's get ready. Oh man, holding your legs straight up and down after toe squats and slow leg lowers and wall sits is definitely an experience. And I want you to remember that if you need to add a little bit of a bend to your knees, that's okay. Just make sure that you're bending and bringing your knees closer to your face so that you're not throwing off the reach component. If I move my feet farther away, then it shifts how I reach for the ankles, okay? So just keep that in mind. But you can let it fall out of your mind right now because we just finished that. Oh man. Okay. Water. I have not been drinking enough. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. Okay. Now we are going to do a quick guided set. And so if you've done this with me before, it means that I am not only telling you what exercises to do, I am giving you a very specific rhythm to do them on, okay? And I'm telling you how many to do before you switch to the next one. So it's sort of, if our AMRAPs are the ultimate, oh, I have control over this process, this is the ultimate teacher. Blanche has control over this process. So the two exercises are squat jumps. So, and up, 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 just like that, making sure our knees are going straight over our feet. And then toe squats, which I don't have to tell you how to do. So just for your information, I'm going to be doing a rhythm like this, and you're going to do 5 jumps, 4 toe squats, and I will be counting you through the whole thing. We're doing it for about 2 minutes, okay? So everybody back to your mats, get ready, get in position for squat jumps, and 5, 6, and here we go, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and that's the end. Woo! Oh man. Yeah, every day is leg day here on Blanche Case Fitness. It's not at all true, but feeling some good leg work. Let me tell you, our legs deserve some TLC and some work. You know why? Because they, every day, are doing a lot of work carrying us around. And they are kind of unsung heroes. So whatever we can do to help them out, to strengthen them, to make them feel more powerful, give them more stamina is hard, but awesome. Look, we all want to be like the captain and not skip leg day. So yes, welcome to Blanche Case Fitness. We do a lot of leg stuff. Yeah. All right. Part of it, honestly, is that there are fewer body weight exercises that really work arms effectively. So that's going to be one of the explorations that we go on our study chat at the beginning of January. Is just I want to find more arm-focused body weight stuff that we can do because, yeah, there's push-ups and various flavors therein and planks. But apart from those, not a ton. So anyway, we're going to round out with a cardio tabata, my friends, because we have to, because we're so excited to be here. And then we're going to do a little bit of stretching because stretching is awesome. So cardio tabata, I was going to tell you that it was kick throughs, but now I'm going to tell you, you get to choose between 3 things: flying chickens, kick throughs, or burpees. Okay? So whichever of those. I know you know how to do kick-throughs. I know you know how to do burpees. Flying chickens, we're jumping our feet out in the air, landing them back where they started. Our hands, thumbs are at chest height. If you wear a bra, hooking your thumbs under your bra straps. And we're just flapping our arms like that. Well, our elbows anyway. So that's going to be it. That's going to be our last thing before we stretch. So everybody back on your mats. Don't worry, the first sound does not mean go. Oh, yeah, that's our stop sound. That's our stop sound. Think about our life choices sound. Whatever decision you make here, this is what you're doing for the rest of this tabata. So I apparently have gone with flying chickens, although I may switch it around occasionally just to remind you all of what the other options are and make sure that if you're doing something that you get examples of it. But, all right, so here we are. It's our final tabata, which means that we are at the end of class, which means that we don't have to hold back our energy anymore. We are here to just leave it all on our mats because we have made our way through an hour of class. We have worked super hard and we have managed our energy so that we can keep working really hard. And now is the time we're heading down the hill towards that finish line. And now we go, all right, there's nothing left that I need to save this for. So I'm just going to be here pushing myself as hard and as fast as I can go to really just end class with one last challenge. So maybe I'm gonna try to do a few extra reps than I can usually get in during a 20-second tabata, So or maybe I'm just going to push for as much power as I can possibly find for those push-ups and for those jumps and victory claps if I'm doing burpees, say. Whatever that means to you, just remember, we are on the home stretch, my friends. You are just about halfway through. Now you are officially halfway through. So just 4 more intervals. So we are on the last approach, the final 0.1 in the half marathon. We are approaching the funnel. We're getting those cheerleaders out, setting them on the floor next to your mats, next to your computer, next to your TV, whatever you're using to watch this stream on. And they're throwing pom-poms in the air, and they're doing incredible floor routines with flips and everything because they know that you should be super proud because I am super proud of you. We're showing up here Saturday morning, 9 a.m., where many people are just chilling in bed, and we are here trying to take care of our bodies. And you know, maybe today was a day that you were able to really push yourself heavily, and that's awesome. Or maybe today was a day where you're like, all right, my win con was just that I showed up on the mat and didn't stop doing class even when I wanted to. And that's awesome too, okay? Because despite what people sometimes say, we don't leave our emotions and our lives at the door when we show up here, because we are a whole entity. We are not a brain and a body, and our brains impact our bodies impact our brains. So you came here today and you got through class, and whether you feel like you did it super well or skated through on the skin of your teeth, I'm still so proud. Oh, whew, good job. Good job, my friends. Dang, okay. You know, we've done a heck of a lot of leg stuff today. So we are gonna do the quad stretch, don't worry. But first, we're gonna do the pretzel. Okay, get a little bit of stretch in the hips. So the pretzel is a weird position to get into. So we'll take it limb by limb, basically. So I'm gonna take one leg and fold it under me. So I bring that heel to the outside of the opposite hip and just tuck it in right next to the hip. The other leg, I'm gonna take that foot and bring it to the outside of the opposite knee, okay? So now I'm in this nice pretzel-y position. I've got one knee pointing straight up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna take the opposite arm and wrap it around the knee and hug that knee into my chest. So now I can feel this nice stretch in that hip, okay? Now I'm going to introduce a twist into my back. So I am going to turn away from the knee, look back behind myself. I'm going to reach my arm out behind myself to help intensify that twist. So now I've got twist in the spine and a stretch in the hip. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths here, okay? So here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Now turn back around to the front. And now we're going to take this foot, so the knee that's been pointing up towards the ceiling, we're going to take that foot and pull the ankle up on the knee that's on the floor. So now I've got this leg sort of folded open in front of me. I'm going to keep this foot flexed to help protect the knee, because what we're going to do now is fold ourselves forward to really intensify that hip stretch, okay? So just let yourself fold forward. I'm going to take my glasses off. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And now sit back up. Unfold. Shake your knees out a little bit. And now get into the same position, the opposite direction. So one leg folded underneath you with that heel up against the hip. The other foot crossed across so that the knee is pointing straight up at the ceiling. Take the opposite arm, pull that knee into your chest so you feel that nice intense stretch in the hip. Twist that back. Reaching your arm behind you to increase the twist. And now we're going to take 4 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And then back to the front. Pull that ankle up on the knee, flexing the foot to protect your other knee. And we fold over, really intensifying that stretch in the hips. And 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And rolling up. Unfold everything. Shake your knees out a little bit. And now let's do that quad stretch because I know I need it and I'm sure you do too. So for the leg that's working, we fold it so that the heel is on the outside of the hip and then pull that heel in as close to the hip as possible. The other leg is just sort of flopped open. I'm not doing anything special with it. I've got the foot up against the knee, but other than that, we're not really worried about it. It's just sort of chilling. And then in order to get the stretch, we're just going to let our backs go back towards the floor only as far as we need to go to get that stretch. So if that's here, cool, stop here, all right? Maybe you can get all the way down to your elbows before you feel like you need to stop. Cool, stop there. Or maybe you can make it all the way down to the floor, all right? Wherever you get to, let's take a second to settle into that position so we really feel that stretch. We're not trying to force it. We're not trying to go quickly into the position. We're just trying to let the muscle lengthen safely, okay? And now we will do our 4 deep breaths. Each time we inhale, visualizing the oxygen going to where we're feeling the sensation most intensely. And each time we exhale, trying to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And now carefully, not necessarily gracefully, back up to seated. I want you to manually unfold this leg. So one hand to the knee, one hand to the ankle. Lift it up with your hands and extend it in front of you. Bring the other leg to meet it. Shake those knees out a little bit. And flex the feet. And point. And flex. And point. And circle the ankles. First one direction. And then the other direction. All right, and now we do the other side. Yeah. So again, y'all know what I need in terms of form. Let's just fold it, carry ourselves down slowly towards the ground. You may be able to get farther or not as far on this side. Again, we're not symmetrical creatures, so that happens frequently. So just pay attention to where you can get to on this side, and don't try to force yourself to go farther because you can do that on the other side, okay? We have to build towards these things. All right, and now we're settled, and we're going to do those same 4 deep breaths, okay? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. All right. And now carefully, awkwardly back up to seated, manually unfolding the leg, one hand knee, one hand ankle. Bring that leg around, unfold it, other leg to meet it, shake those knees out, flex the feet, and point, and flex, and point, circle the ankles in one direction, and then the other direction. And that, I think, is gonna do it, my friends. Oh gosh, Amanda, I'm sorry I missed that, but thank you for being here. Oh, my friends, what a good class. What a good class. I have so much fun with this class. I have so much fun with all of these classes. It's just, I'm saying that a lot. I feel like this month I'm really trying to focus on the things that I'm grateful for, you know, because this year was a hard year, but this, I am amazed and delighted by this. I am so lucky to be able to do this, to share these classes with y'all, to be building out this little corner of the internet. And I'm so glad that you're coming with me on this journey. It's absolutely wonderful. Frenchie, I'm loving your chats today. They're great. This is A+ quality content. But yeah, it is so wonderful always to be here. Even though I'm giving you intensive leg days, I know that you're up for the challenge. And, you know, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We're getting to learn and to grow together, and that is always so freaking cool. So thanks for joining me here, my friends. It's okay. Look, you are not required to be entertaining me. I'm the one supposed to be entertaining you. Oh, but speaking of entertainment, wait, that was a weird segue. Anyway, this is the last class of the week. Yes, it's time for me to have a little bit of a break, but we will be back again next week for most of our usual broadcast schedule. Look, I am always just happy to have people in chat. You do not have to do class along with us. You can come back and do class later. You can just come and hang out with the cool people and, you know, be like, oh man, look at her. She's working real hard. Yeah, we will have, I think, mostly our regular schedule next week. Although I do think that I will probably cancel Friday since it is Christmas, which is a holiday that I tend to celebrate. Obviously, it's going to look very different this year, but yeah, I think that I will probably take the night off for that. But other than that, we will have our usual workout schedule. So we will start on Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. Mountain Time with Perpetual Motion, the class where we never stop moving. Then Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Jump Around, our weekly cardio class. And then skipping Friday and going straight to Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for the weekend kickoff. So definitely join me for any or all of those classes. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All those handles are in my end cards, but they're all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel, Blanche Case Fitness, is where I upload all of the VODs for these streams every Sunday, so you never have to miss a class. There's also going to be a lot of additional material going up there, so make sure to head over and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, I do have a coffee account, Blanche Case Fitness. Your donations are always very much appreciated. They're helping me to keep doing this, which is really wonderful. And if you want to help keep growing this channel as we continue our steady progress towards Twitch affiliate, then please do follow this channel. Tell your friends, loved ones, coworkers, anyone looking for an awesome class. We're here 4 days a week at least, probably more going into the new year. It's a great time, some great people here, and yeah, let's keep building it. And now I'm gonna go take a shower and have some breakfast, but I am also going to set up, fingers crossed that this works correctly, I'm going to set us up to raid Strawberry Sunbeam, I think is the channel name. My friend Eileen, she's doing her Extra Life stream today. I'm not sure how long she's planning to go, but she usually goes for a long time. It is a wonderful time if you like video games and awesome cosplays and costumes and amazing mini painting and just a really delightful human raising money for a really wonderful charity. Then yeah, let's go raid her. You know, even if only 2 people head over there, it's still 2 more people, and that's always a good thing. But that will be the end of the stream for me. So thank y'all for joining me. Keep an eye out in the chat for the raid notification, and I will see you all back here on Tuesday. Mwah. Have a great day.